Okay, and we back. And you see somebody your kid's age and they actually on their shit and they come up in the post office and they working with you and you mad because your kids didn't want to work for the post office and be on their shit or whatever. So now you taking out your anger and aggression on the young person that's actually doing this shit on their own. But whole time, they didn't have that same spoiled privilege that you gave your kids to have you in the position that you're in, that you still got to work to take care of your kids and your grandkids. You feel me? And that's why they working there with you. And you don't want to retire neither, because if you retire, that means they going to get the money and they going to be up next in the slot. Why the fuck would you care if you're retired? You know what I'm saying? So it'd be stuff like that. The problem that I had specifically at a certain location that I worked at in the Chicago district was most of the people there had already been working together for 20 plus years. So they were like a big family, which was cool. But then the problem with that is if you had a problem with somebody, then the whole place is going to turn against you, basically. And that's not exactly what happened to me, but I feel like as far as the majority of the in people at that location turned on me after a series of events that took place or whatever. And then this was all around the time that I was supposed to turn over. So I don't know if it had something to do with me about to turn over, and they knew that, and they were trying to do everything in their power to get me to either leave or, you know what I'm saying, not turn over, essentially. Which their wish was granted. I didn't turn over and did end up leaving. So yeah, it's just like, it's shit like that. So just be aware of that. So what I'll say is this: if you want to work for the post office and you're somebody like me, like you just want to work, you just want to come to work, do your job, that's it, you don't want no problems, something like that, but you're someone that could be targeted, aka you might be the pretty girl. That was my issue. I was the pretty girl. All the guys looked at me and, you know, swooned and all that shit. And some tried to shoot they shot and, you know, all of that. And then people see that, they get jealous and envious and all that. Or, you know, Sue was messing around with Dedrick, and then you start working there. And now Dedrick want to start talking to you. And you and Dedrick might low-key start talking, but you didn't know that Sue had already smashed or whatever. So now Sue giving you the side eye. Like, it'd be shit like that. Or you ain't giving Dedrick no play at all, but Sue just still don't like you because Dedrick does. So now Sue, Sandra, and Sally all gonna gang up on you every day. They gonna do little petty shit, like try to do shit to injure you. Like people will really do this at the post office, y'all. So be careful, beware, be careful of that shit. You know what I'm saying? There are some very miserable ass people working at the post office. And that's what makes it a miserable place. So just know what type of energy you're dealing with when you go to certain places. Now, once again, every location is not going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? There are locations that everybody's cool. Ain't nobody tripping. Management is cool. You know what I'm saying? You come in, you do your job. Everything's cool. For the most part, regardless of where you are, though, post office or not, come to work, do your job, you'll be fine. Come to work, be on time. Being on time is important, yo. Now, this is one thing I will say. I am not a timely person like that. So, me speaking on my attendance when I was working there. Now, my attendance was pretty good. It wasn't perfect. Okay, like I was the tardy employee. You know, I'd be late a couple of times a week. But I wasn't the call off once a week, call off every month type of employee. I would have to call off in these days here and there though, because that was another thing. That's another thing, y'all. So when we work for the post office, this is another thing. And I don't know why they do that. And this is worldwide too with them. They will send you far as fuck from where you live. And it's like, it's almost like they do it on purpose, because I've always had to travel far as fuck to get to where I worked at. Except for when I was working in Gary. When I worked there, my commute was probably like 15-20 minutes to get to work. And that's the best I've ever had at any job, period. So that was pretty decent. But all the other locations I had to work, I was traveling far as fuck, like burning hella gas, putting hella miles in my car every day. And so when you do that, sometimes you're gonna have problems, you know what I'm saying? You might get a flat tire, your car might break down, you know. And that's what was happening to me. Like, literally, y'all, my luck with my tires on my car back then was like really bad. I mean, one time, both of my tires, I had 2 flat tires, yo. 2 fucking flat tires. Like, my spare tire, actually, my hating ass ex-boyfriend, that's the only person that could have did it at the time. I think he slashed my spare tire and then slashed one of my other tires on my car. So when I came out that day, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call AAA and have them put my spare tire on. And AAA got there and they put the pulled the spare tire out and it was slashed. And I'm like, wow, that's so petty. So needless to say, I had to call off that day. But that would happen a lot. Well, not my tires getting slashed. That wouldn't happen a lot, y'all. But like I would get a lot of blowouts. I would have, you know, a lot of issues with my tires and stuff. That would be an issue for me because I would be too far away to get on public transportation to get to work. So if I was a little bit closer, I probably wouldn't have missed as many days as I did back then or whatever. And once again, it wasn't like I was missing hella 5 days like that and I was like just super tardy all the time, like coming in hours late and shit like that. Although towards the end of my postal career, I did get a little careless in the Chicago district. The last place that I worked at there, I literally, y'all, and this is how fed up I was with the place, I literally purposely would come in late every fucking day just to piss this lady off, because this is why I did this though. She switched my hours purposely to inconvenience me for my therapy sessions because I injured my back. When I first got to that location, I injured my back like a couple of months in working on Amazon parcels. And I had to do physical therapy and all that shit. So I let her know the hours that I have physical therapy. And the hours that I was working wouldn't have interfered at all with the hours of physical therapy. But her argument was that I wasn't on time. And I would literally be like maybe 5-10 minutes late. If that. So she wanted me to work in the evening hours. Well, the problem with that was my therapy sessions were in the evenings and I couldn't switch them to mornings because they didn't have it available at the time. So that right there was like, okay, so you're purposely, you know what I'm saying? Because why would you switch my shift to hours that you know I'm not going to be able to be available because I have to do therapy? So I would purposely come in late because of that. I would purposely come in after my therapy sessions and take my sweet ass time getting up in there. And I would do that every day until I left. So there's that. So it wasn't like I was just like, I don't give a fuck to do the... I was doing it for a reason. But still not giving a fuck. Because I knew it would piss her off. Because she was so adamant about being on time. And it was like, well, bitch, if you want me to be on time, give me a schedule where I can do so. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're asshole backward. Like this bitch was just batshit crazy, period. Like, she didn't make any fucking sense at all. And this was a manager, of course. And probably the same lady that didn't put in my resignation form after I filled it out and gave it to her. So, yeah. So, you got to worry about that, too. When you resign from a position, so when you're transferring to different locations in the post office, what they do, whether you're a career or not, you have to resign from the current position and accept the next position. Now, when you resign, you fill out the resignation form and you turn that in to the supervisor or the manager, and they're supposed to give that to or send that to the main district office so that they can put it in and, you know, properly get you transferred and cleared out the system to go into the other system. Now, what don't make sense to that with me is, it's like the post office is one big company, right? Why is it that you have to do it? What is it with this process? Like, it should be one universal system. So no matter where you work at in the country, you know what I'm saying, you're in the system. I don't know if I already said this, but what I will say is, once again, I wasn't making this video, or I'm not making these videos to bash the Postal Service in general. I mean, I kind of am, because they need to get their shit together. I mean, if you want to retain employees, because I'm not the only person that feels this way, that's left and never looked back. And there are people that are working there right now that want to leave and never look back because they're experiencing the same type of stuff. You just gotta be prepared for the foolery, yo. Like, just be prepared for the foolery. Just be prepared. Don't think that it's gonna be sweet. Like, you got this job, this good government job, and it's gonna be all good. No. You're gonna have trials, you're gonna have tribulations. And if you're a attractive person like myself, or if you're someone that draws attention, or even if you're not, you could be someone that just want to be left the fuck alone. If these people don't like you, they're going to fuck with you. And you have to have hella fat, tough skin. It's gonna take a lot of energy, y'all. It's gonna take a lot of energy, because it took a lot for me. But yeah, that's pretty much that or whatever. So I left last year. Was that last year? Yeah, it was last year. I left from Gary. I was just over it. I actually told the bitch to fire me. I told her to fire me. She threatened me. See, here's the thing with that too. Because I could have fought the situation. I would have still been working there. Because the way that they did shit, and this is the thing too, the way that they do shit when they want to fire you or write you up or something, they do it so underhandedly. And you almost always know that it's personal. It's never, all the times that I've been written up or reprimanded or whatever, it was never justified. So that let me know that it was always a personal vendetta behind their doings. And that last situation was definitely that, because quick story time. So my very last time working the Postal Service in Gary, one of the supervisor ladies, whose name shall forever remain nameless, she got mad at me because I had came in late. I was like 30 minutes late. But here's the thing. The Gary plant, there's a train right next to that plant, right? In the direction that I came from, I ended up getting caught by that train. Now, there was another fellow employee that got caught by that same train. She called the manager that was on duty for that day and let him know, like, hey, you know, we're caught by the train. You know, we're right here, because we had got there in plenty enough time to be on time. But he's like, oh, it's fine. You know, just get here when you can. You know, I know the train is there. Well, the next day I come in and the lady, she writes me up for being late. And I'm like, so you wrote me up for being late when I informed you all that I was going to be late because of the train that you knew was there, and you told me it was all right and just come in. And then I went to ask the other coworker if she had got written up too, and she said she hadn't. So right there, it was like, oh, word? Bet. So I go, so she calls me up there to give me the paperwork to sign for the write-up or whatever. I think I wrote refuse to sign on there or some shit. And then she gets to talking her shit. Now, I don't remember word for word what was said that day, But I do remember her saying something to the effect of,
well, I can fire you for just for this.
When she said that, now I remember what I said word for word. When she said that, because she was like, technically she could fire me just for having the one tardy or whatever, because I was new to that particular location. I was still on my 90-day probation, and if you're late or anything like that, they can just automatically fire you and all that shit, which I knew was bullshit because I was already in the system. Sweetheart, I've already been in the system. I simply transferred from someplace else, so it's not gonna be that simple. I'm union vetted and everything. Like, sis, who was you talking to? So when she said that, oh well, I can fire you just for that, I said, well, do what you gotta do then. Just like that. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, because I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And see, I came at her like that because this is the type of attitude that these people in management have. If they don't like you for any personal reason, and it gotta have shit to do with your work ethic, I can't talk to that. Your work ethic ain't gotta have shit to do with that, because at the end of the day, hands down, no matter where I worked at, anybody that knew me, anybody that worked with me, you could never tell me that I wasn't a good motherfucking worker, on time or not. You knew when I got there, shit was gonna get did. You knew that when I got there, all this mail was gonna get the fuck up out of here. You knew that. If I was there, me and my team, we getting shit done. So what are you saying? So that's why when I saw people attacking me for personal reasons and you just trying to put bullshit ass shit on me, it's like, I don't need to be here if I'm not wanted. You know what I'm saying? I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm a good worker and all that shit. So I'm not gonna let nobody take that from me. If you don't want me here, I can move the fuck around and be somewhere where I'll be more appreciated. And see, when they fired me, because I let them fire me. I actually let them. Because like I said, I could have fought that because I already seen how funny acting this lady was. And I had heard about her before, how shysty she would be with certain employees. If she didn't like you, she would do shit like what she did to me to get you fired or whatever. So I already knew what it was going to be anyway. And I could have, like I said, went to the union and fought it or whatever. But the problem with that was the union rep up there was so corrupt. And this is how the post office ain't shit, right? Now, Chicago District Union, they have some good union workers. They got some ride or dies up in there. So if you're applying to Chicago District, definitely sign up with the union. Now, yeah, you got to pay the little fees and all that, union fees and all that shit. But let me tell you, when you're a paid union member versus being a non-paying person, because they still got to represent you regardless if you pay for the services or not, it makes a hell of a difference. They go harder for you when they know that you're a paid member. I'm gonna just say that. So I would definitely recommend, as soon as you can sign up with the union, please do so. That they're going to save your ass. They're going to save your ass from the fuckery, if it's a good union rep, because you get bad union reps too. I had a bad union rep out of Chicago too. You know what? They still owe me money, y'all. The post office still owe me money from like 2-3 years ago. I'm thinking about that because the bad union rep, she's supposed to have got me my money and never did, honey, and I'm still waiting on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm gonna get it back now. I don't know what the statute of limitations is on that shit. So yeah, let me go ahead and get up off this camera because now I'm finna go into story time. But part 2, I'm going to tell y'all about the more personal experiences that I had while working at the Postal Service. We will start off with the Chicago district because that was the first district that I worked at, and that's where most of the story times are going to come from. So if you want to hear more about my experience at the Postal Service with the nitpicking, the bullying, the harassment, and all things bad, all the cons that I experienced, stay tuned for part 2. Like I said, if you are interested in applying for the Postal Service, I encourage you to do so if you are about that life and you want to make that money. But please be aware, when you sign up for this, you sign up for the real deal. You're going to be working 6-7 days a week most of the time. You're not really going to have a lot of time to really do shit, depending on what hours you work. And even then, you're gonna be so tired after working those hours, whatever hours you work, you ain't gonna feel like doing nothing anyway, honey, okay? You ain't gonna feel like doing nothing but going to sleep and resting to get ready to go to work the next day. That's gonna be your life. So that's number one. But get that money though. Get that money. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Get your coins. But anyway, yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. If you have not yet, please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Because how else you gonna see more videos? You know what I'm saying? If I popped up and you recommended and you clicked on the video, you're meant to be a subscriber. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Don't forget to share. Okay, y'all. For real. Let me get my ass up out of here because I gotta go. All right, bye.